Doing well this morning. Um, Getting up a little bit later than normal today. Still recovering from this bone graft surgery I had on my jaw last Monday, and it hurts quite a bit still, and it's quite challenging to deal with every day. But I'm getting better slowly, and I appreciate y'all, and thanks for tuning in today. First, I'm gonna pull up the water vapor loop that I always pull up, show y'all. Gives a good um, overall view of large scale features. Quite a complex pattern here, but the overall flow is clockwise, around high pressure. You can see this complex of storms on radar pushing into the northeast right now with a flooding rain threat. Looks like they got a bunch of flash flood warnings already up here in New York and Pennsylvania. So just bow down the hatches up there, and hopefully that'll move through in the next couple in a little while. But the flooding looks pretty significant up here. For the southeast, it's really a complex pattern here. We have what looks like a little upper level low or something in the Gulf of Mexico here, with we have some northeast upper level flow, actually at all levels coming through our area. And there was a boundary and some outflow boundaries that triggered precip in our area yesterday. But the main story, rain chances are going to be quite low, scattered to isolated at best every day. And that's go to this map I always bring up. You can see for our area in the southeast, I know it's a kind of a repeat from yesterday, but the 0.1 inch is what the National Weather Service uses to determine percentages. Yesterday we had supposedly had a low percent chance of getting rain, but we did here. But that doesn't mean somebody down the street may not have got any, so that's why it was so low. You can see chances diminished towards the middle of this week, and increase again a little bit. You can see where the edge of the ridge is here. A lot of, I'm not sure why that's cut off right there. Something isn't right there. But the model here doesn't seem like it's got a problem. Let's do a refresh on it. Just didn't refresh, that's all. Anyway, I just can't help but think there might be some flooding risk in these areas. Look at all the same areas. Wow. Let's look at the flooding risk real quick. Day one risk, do one day. See, the risk is slight to marginal here. I wouldn't be surprised to see the increases in these areas, slight to marginal. The moderate risk is day three, which is quite significant out here. This is quite concerning actually, because this area doesn't get a lot of precip, and having heavy rains this time of year can lead to a lot of flash flooding, and just a lot of bad things can happen. That's anyway. That's the next 3 days, days 3 to 7. Anyway, that's the general trend, and we showed it on the precip chance map. So looking at the radar for the southeast right now, at least for our area, not a lot going on. Humid, muggy, in the 70s. If any areas that may have gotten a lot of fair amount of precip in the morning yesterday may have some low level fog this morning, but that should clear up pretty quickly. So let's go to the heat index forecast map. I want to show you all this. This is for the 25th, which is Wednesday. Heat index values approaching 115 to 120 out here on the 25th. That's very dangerous. As you move through time here, kind of shrinks a little bit, but in the same areas repeatedly. I'm very concerned for these areas in the short term, in the long term, and on the shorter term. This is the heat risk that I've been showing you every day. It hasn't changed much. I can't reiterate this enough. You know, in these areas, they're not used to having it being this hot, and repeated, man, that's a wide area right there. Just repeated days of heat and it not getting that cool at night just is very concerning. And I said this before too, you know, in the southeast down here where I live, we're kind of used to it getting hot, but that doesn't mean people aren't affected. And especially if you have respiratory issues or you're somebody that's already the elderly, people that can't handle the heat that well. The bodies just cannot handle it, and repeated bouts of that are it's just hard on them. So check on your family, check on them. If they live in these areas, just give them a call and make sure they're okay. Um, not hard to do. So as a weather forecaster, I am mindful of the human element of things and how people are impacted by severe weather events. And you know, it's often sensationalized in the media, but people can die from these things, and it's very sobering. And I never want to forget how important it is to think about the people that are affected by this stuff. So I know I kind of went off on a tangent there, but that's very important to me. So I wanted to show you this max departure from average map for the temperatures starting Sunday. You can see that star right there. This map is kind of wonky, but it's in the middle of the country. Shows the hottest temperature. It moves out to the desert southwest for the hottest. Departure from climatology, you can see pretty much eastern U.S. is almost all above average. Along the coast of the Gulf Coast, it may be Texas coast may be modulated by some precip and cooling off, but you can see anything above in the orange shading or magenta is above average for climatology, which we already talked about. What's driving this pattern? I think, well, let's go back. I wanted to go over the severe threat real quick. Today's threat, mostly wind and hail with lower probabilities tornadoes. Some storms coming through the northeast, like I talked about, a wide swath, upper Midwest into the, the plains and down to Texas. And then tomorrow, a little bit smaller area here. You can see the different probabilities. And then day 3 moves up towards the Great Lakes area, um, Illinois, stuff like that. And then after that, there's no potential right now because nothing is that predictable or probable. Or the SBC has to have something, have 15% chance to be able to predict that. So extreme weather is this time of year is mostly the northern states or Midwest. So this is not uncommon. Real quickly, what's driving all this? Upper level high pressure, you can see it right there. Flow way up here. Stays pretty well entrenched in our area. I mean, along the east of the Rockies, exception of up here, for a good amount of time. Although there's an upper level feature that wants to sneak in along the Florida coast towards the end of the period. The high pressure weakens with time, but the flow still is. Except for here, we may end up getting um, some sneaky precip or something moving with this feature. We'll see what happens. At the low levels, kind of nebulous features really towards the end of the month. Some weak, weak, weak flow here in the eastern U.S. Anyway, the main theme is the heat for the next week or so. Low precip chances, at least in our area. Higher ones and floods. Flooding potential in the Midwest over time. Heat moving from the upper Midwest towards the Northeast over the next week. Please take precautions. Don't go out in the middle of the day if you do have to work outside. Take breaks, drink plenty of water, wear light colored clothing, and put on sunscreen. Hope you all have a great day.